This is Blender, a software that can be used for pretty much anything, all the way from 3D modeling, rigging, animation, simulation, rendering, compositing, motion tracking, and also video editing. This small software also happens to be free. And this is me, someone who has no idea about 3D or art in general. And why don't you just use AI? Well, because my small-minded individual, anyone can do that. So I'm gonna start my quest of learning Blender in 24 hours. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. Why would anyone even try? But I think it's fun to see progress all the way from hour 0 to hour 24. And a quick disclaimer, I've seen these kinds of videos before where people just do these amazing pieces in the shortest amount of time, but that's just probably not realistic for me, so don't get your hopes so high. So let's start! The first hour was kind of like baby steps. No, that's way too much. Baby crawls? Downloading Blender, accepting the heck out of terms and conditions, and opening the thing. Honestly, I had no idea what I was seeing. It felt like a spaceship, a lot of buttons, and zero idea what anything meant. How do I move this thing? I have never seen this much menus on an app. Jesus. Ooh, this is all scaling, I think. Yeah. What is this? Oh, that's how I see. Ooh, I think I know Blender now. Next thing I knew is that I had a mess on my screen. I thought I could learn this way, like just messing up, but no, not quite. So I went to my favorite teacher, YouTube. The first thing I searched for was a complete masterclass of Blender fundamentals. And this guy appeared. This was gonna be my sensei. I'm gonna call you Sensei Donut.
So this is Blender.
Let's go! And without realizing it, I started a 5-hour tutorial on how to make a donut. And you might ask, can you learn Blender with a donut? To which I respond, surprisingly so. Of course, you're not going to be a master, but you do get a pretty good understanding of the UI, the controls, and, well, basic understanding of most of the pages. So it's worth it. Just to recap a little bit, first hour was me messing up, and then starting the donut modeling, and also a mug. Which, if you know where this mug is from, nice. Not gonna lie, I was flying with the tutorial. I started to think Blender was super easy. Why do people even struggle to learn it? And then I proceeded to struggle with the mug. Gonna make them all smaller because, oh, shirt. Given that I chose a different one from the tutorial, I couldn't get the handle right. Everything went from really easy to really weird, really fast. Vertices? Oh no, edges? What am I doing? Edges and faces. No, that's so cursed. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh no, that's worse. No. You know what? I'm gonna keep it like that. I started to see these rectangles for some reason. This was the wireframe or something? Then the first homework arrived, and it was to do a plate, which I think I nailed. It wasn't so bad. Yeah, that's a plate. It's beautiful, right? Then the next part was modeling the glaze of the donut, which is not that interesting. I pretty much duplicated and deleted the bottom. That looks weird. I kept on working on the glaze and I don't know why, but I got into some issues with the donut in this part. Jesus. What did you do? It had problems in the mesh. Why do you even have problems in the mesh? You know what? I'm just gonna hide it. Oh, I don't know how to fix that. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm sorry. I just don't know how to fix that. Now it was time to do the donuts plate, which I tried to do my best with my newfound knowledge. I made a plate. Then the sensei showed us how to actually do the plate, and I was a little far off. I'm gonna lie, they're way better than my first attempt. Okay, I've made 3 plates so far. And his plate was way prettier. After some issues, I did my first render. Woohoo! Wait, what's up with my plate? Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna save that. Then we got onto something fun. Texturing. We started with basic colors just to see how they look. Then, now we can move on to the materials. My dumb self thought I could just bring a PNG from Google, but no, you have to do sort of like this normal map, so it doesn't look like 2D, you know? That way, it has depth. So we downloaded some materials from the tutorial and started to put them. Now they looked way better. I even wanted to eat the donut. I'm getting amazed by a donut? Is that normal? It was beautiful, man. The only scary part was UV unwrapping, and it's as confusing as it sounds. Oh no, this is gonna be really hard. I can only imagine what more complex models look. What is this shader? This looks so cool. I love coffee, you guys. I want a coffee. We were doing sprinkles now, yay! Which I didn't understand that much. We just had these cylinders and then we just messed them up and added a random modifier with weight paint, which is practically giving the donut headaches. Yeah, no idea what those words are. Well, I decided to go with a yellow donut. And since I wanted to improve the render, I made a background, which at the end I didn't even use, but the important part is that I made it myself. So that's learning, I guess. Then we started messing up with the lights, so you know it looks cinematic. We put point light, sunlight, and I don't know what other lights there are. And yeah, we finished the tutorial with just a small course on Eevee and cycles, which are just like rendering methods. I don't really understand that much, so I'm just gonna stick with cycles, even if it takes like an eternity to render. Okay, so the tutorial was 5 hours, but it took me like 7 hours to finish it. Yeah, it was long. Wow, I didn't expect it to take that much. I mean, I'm still gonna do 24 hours, but 6 hours just in the donut. I'm at this state where I think I can learn everything. I'm happy, I'm motivated, and this was my render. I was so proud. I even put it on my Instagram, you guys. So, after finishing the tutorial, even though I really felt more confident in myself, I ran into one of the biggest issues. I didn't know where to continue. As I told you at the start of the video, Blender has a lot of ramifications, and I didn't know if I wanted to go for modeling or maybe animation, because I'm really interested in both. I decided I wanted to do models first, like characters, just because I think that's easier to show in a video, and plus I only had like 17 hours left, which I didn't think was enough time to do an animation. Because I decided I wanted to go into modeling, I went looking for tutorials. And I found this amazing video showcasing Blender tutorials from all types. And even though I wanted to learn from all of them, I remembered modeling first, then the rest. And thanks to this video, I stumbled with Polygon Runway. Shout out to this amazing channel. At this point in the video, I was feeling really confident with my skills. And my first goal was to model a vase before watching a tutorial. I'm gonna watch it later, but right now I want to do this by myself. I still made quite the mistakes though, mainly again with the handle. Why do I have so much trouble with handles? I don't know. But this one specifically was because I made the vase on the wrong direction. So extruding was a bit odd, I couldn't get the handle right. I was still fixated on making my own background. I really don't know why. I guess I saw it on a photography studio, but here it is, it's beautiful. This was my result. Huh, it sort of looks like a blender. I get it. Now it was time for me to actually see how the pro does this. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know how he went flying, but making those objects like what? And it was so different from what I knew. In this case, it was doing these small lines called verts and then adding a screw modifier. That was incredibly fast. It took me like an hour to do by myself, and this guy just makes everything in like 5 minutes. This took me like 2 hours to make. It's not really impressive, and I was running out of time. The next step was going for hard surface objects, that like boxes, like more stuff like in the background. He actually used this cube. I haven't seen anyone do it. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I didn't understand it that much. I just blindly followed the tutorial and didn't feel that much enjoyment. That's probably just me. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm sorry, it's not looking good. I said to myself, okay, maybe another tutorial could excite me. And I checked the list and it was to do a bike. But I came to a realization. That is that I don't want to do a bike. So I want to do my own projects, even if they are ugly, but I think the most learning comes when you try to solve a problem. When you mess up. Yeah, I mean, pretty much whenever you mess up and you try to fix it, that's when you learn. That's when the real learning comes. So I'm gonna try to model some characters, even if they are awful. First one, I think it's gonna be Kazane Teto. I think that's pretty cool to do, right? What do you guys think? Well, you don't have to answer, but I'm gonna do Teto anyway, so see you there. I found this image and I think that should be good, right? To use it. I don't think anyone recommends starting with characters because they are quite complex. And I agree, but I was motivated though. I decided I was gonna sculpt. Keep in mind, I'm not an artist, so the result is what you could have guessed. Can I start over? Main problem was that I thought I knew how to do it since I saw a few YouTube shorts. It's Moff Psycho, not Teto. This is Moff Psycho. And it looked so easy. Turns out it wasn't. I don't know what this is. I should have watched a tutorial. I have no idea what this is. It's scary. This is gonna haunt my dreams. Channels like Janscopes made me feel both insecure at my piece and amazed at theirs. This was hour 10. That goal I just said like an hour ago was feeling impossible. How was I going to make a character in 14 hours? Or at least something that looks like a character. I once again gave it a try, now following another tutorial, and I didn't like it. So I think I messed up. Yeah, I was trying to shoot for the stars, but if you look at this is awful. I hated my work. I hated everything I did. Thought I could just start making cool stuff, but Blender is just so hard. But you know what? I didn't want to give up. I still had like what, 13 hours? I could at least give it a try. Again, slower. First, before the character, I was going to make a baguette, which is related to this character. It's not just like so random that I want to do a baguette. Boom. Nah, kidding. This was my first try actually, and this was my second, now without tutorial. I'm still not that good. Is it bad that I say that I follow tutorials? I want to say that I made it on my own, but that's really not true. Now, the time had come to fight my nemesis again, Kazane Tet. I searched for her character sheet, and I put it on a waiting Blender so I could follow it from all angles, that means front, back, side, and I started to put boxes all around the body. We're gonna do low poly first. The proportions and also the silhouette are overall more important than the details, so I was gonna focus on that first. This was the low poly torso and pelvis. Now it was time for loop cuts. Bam, bam, bam. I'm trying not to make it look like it, but I was struggling so much already, and I wasn't even working on arms or legs, let alone the face. I tried extruding the arms and it sort of looked okay, as long as it fits the character sheet, right? I had low poly arms now, yay! Now let's move on to the legs, my friends. Same process, prepare the lower part and then extrude. I don't even know anything about anatomy, and here I am. I worked on more details, like cuts around the joints, like elbows and knees. This is mainly because these are the parts that move like a lot, so you need to have a way so they could bend, I think. That's what I understood. And also inflating some parts that would have muscle, like the calves. Now it was time for hands. Most people don't think about how hard hands are, and by that I meant me. Now I sort of understand the people that draw, because hands are so complex, yet they are so expressive as well. And you know, the worst part of it is that I made the hands, but I didn't show them in the final render, because I had no idea how to rig the character. So that's just sad. Back to the hands. The process is really similar to what we have been doing so far. First, to make a low poly structure that has the proportions and also the silhouette, since these are the most important. That includes these fake fingers I'm only using for reference. And then now we can add details with cuts and also, similar to the joints on the body, some inner faces that would allow the fingers to move and actually bend, but I didn't rig it, so. Okay, so I spent around an hour or a half hour, I don't know, making a finger. Good thing is that for the fingers I only had to do one, and then I could duplicate it and scale it for the rest, which is pretty much what I did. And it didn't work, of course. Maybe he's oh, there you go. Yeah, that's better, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, whoa, that's worse. Wow, time really flies. We have so far a weird body with 2 hands. Amazing. Not stressing at all at the fact that she didn't have a face, and we only had like 8 hours left. I now started to add way more details. And this is the part where I had, I think, most of the issues, because I don't fully understand anatomy. No, I don't know where muscles are, that's a problem. So I was kind of blindly following another person do their model. This phase took until like almost hour 19. Mine, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make the mesh not look messed up. But it was looking way better. These small details really do add to the model, even if I don't understand them. Well, I have something questionable and I want to make at least the face, so I'm gonna skip the body a little bit to just work on the face in case I don't have time. I mean, I have something to show, and then I can move on to the body and all that stuff. Okay? But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working. I know, a little embarrassing. But now, finally, I can start the head, with only 5 hours on the clock, but really inspired. We start with a cube. Oddly enough, I thought we were gonna start with a sphere, but no. And the weird part is that the cube was turned into a sphere, so what's the point? Anyway, let's sort of put the mesh following the character shape. Okay, so this is what I have. Let's add the subdivision modifier. Oh my god, no. It looks like nightmare fuel. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe we can make a creepypasta out of this character. Like a Yuwoki. Or in this case, Tetowoki. Let's try to fix that, shall we? Okay, so this is another thing I don't understand. The mesh. How do you know if it's a good mesh or a bad mesh? For what I understand, if a mesh has quads, it's a good mesh. But if it has triangles, it's a bad mesh. What do they mean? What does anything mean? You know what? I'm just gonna remove every triangle I see then. By hour 20, we had reached the eyes, which we start with the sockets, of course. I didn't know that. Oh god. Oh no. Oh god. Wow, that is unnerving. Like, it's watching straight into my soul. And full honesty here, I thought I was gonna be sculpting the body and the head, but at this point I'm realizing this is not the case. I'm doing everything with polygons. I'm not sure which method is better, but I was excited about sculpting. Maybe next video, I guess. I'm supposed to add more cuts and faces around the eyes and mouth, since they are the parts that move the most. The most expressive, if you may. They have to close and move and all that stuff. This is just so cursed in a lot of levels. Time for eyelashes, which felt more simple than the rest. It was just like a different shape and then extruding. Not that complicated, really. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I thought I was gonna have better progress by the 20-hour mark, but I just have a weird model that I don't like. I actually kind of hate, but I'll try my best in the 4 hours to trying to make this presentable, but I don't expect so much. And something weird here. For anime characters, they don't tend to use spheres for the eyes. I have no idea why, but we added planes, and we sort of made them fit both in front view and side view. The eyes have a lot of cuts, and I ended up using this for color later. Since I didn't like what I was seeing after almost 21 hours, I went into sculpting mode to try and fix it. But I didn't know what I was doing, and I kinda regret it now. It was time for the ears now, which I thought were going to be easy, and I was kind of right. They just took more time than expected. Why? Now, I didn't want Teto to look just white, so I looked for anime shaders. I thought everything was fixed with a shader. It looks really funny. What? It's like a mime. We went to the scary page and added these notes. Like what? The point of these notes is to translate the light information into just two values, light and dark. And then we can add the base color and also the shadow. Why am I drawing here? I can't escape. Guys, I started like drawing here and I have no idea why. Control Z? Oh no, this is not good. Why can't I just connect these things? Toolbar. Oh, thank you. Thank God. Okay, so annotate is shift spacebar. Oh yeah. The simple method was for the lighting, but we also needed something else. The lines around the characters. The stroke. And for that we used this part called freestyle that adds a contour around the character when it's facing the camera. That's at least the way I understood it. I mean, this is really complicated. Now Teto was looking way better to what I had, so I kept adding more colors with these notes. And most importantly, moving the lights to make it look better because the model just didn't hold up. That's just funny. Now I only had 2 hours left and I made the decision to ditch the tutorial and make the hair by myself. First, I started using what I learned from making vases, and also extruding the shapes. I just had to make sure it looked good both in the front view and in the side view. And I had this hair strand. Woo! So proud. But no time. Let's duplicate it and make some more. When I made this second one, I wasn't as proud as the first one. But anyway, mirror modifier time. Boom. You know what? I'm gonna duplicate this one. Put it around here. Now I had this weird looking tattoo, and also was bald from behind. Sadly, I started to realize there was just no time to do clothing. So I sort of put a base gray color and that's the clothing. That's it. Now let's get back to the hair. The reference had this small triangle on the top. So I tried extruding until I sort of got the shape in front view and a little on the side view. We also don't want her to be Walter White, so I duplicated the head to to put it as a hair, but it didn't work so well, it felt really weird. So I will use a sphere then. I deleted some parts and added the mirror modifier, and it sort of looked like an egg now, but I still tried to put it as close as I could to the reference. But also making sure you could see the ears, because, I mean, I already worked on them. I kept messing up until it made sense. And that's when it hit me. I was 23 hours in. I just had 1 hour to fix the hair, and when I tried to render, she looked bald. What? So I applied the modifiers so she didn't want bald, and I started to work on the last part of the model, the pigtails, or in this case, the drill tails. I made a cylinder, added a lot of cuts, and then scaled some parts down, some parts up. It was looking good. I added the subdivision modifier and damn, time to add more cuts. I said fork it, I have to render now. Why is she bald? I applied everything and parented everything, and it sort of works. Now she doesn't go bald. Okay. Oh, the baguette, yeah, I made a baguette. I added the baguette I made, and also I wanted a background, which I didn't make. Baguettes, background. There you go. This is beautiful. So I put a PNG. What am I doing? And for some reason it didn't appear in the final render. But here it is. I didn't know how to record, so just ignore this step. Bye-bye. I tried my best, and I will keep on trying my best on 3D. I will keep messing up and hopefully bring more videos to you, if you like, of course. So, this is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, where I might try sculpting. I don't know. Bye-bye!